Hi, more Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. It's rough in there today. Are you guys okay? Did something hurt you guys? You guys all right?
What are you talking about?
Seem like you're in a bad mood today.
No. I'm all
You're
A-okay.
kind of you just want to watch.
Thursday. Why would I be in a bad mood?
I feel like you're in a bad mood. Is she in a bad mood?
Maybe. I'm not.
Are you in a bad mood?
Happy as a clam.
Are you happy that you rang the cowbell yesterday and I tweeted out a picture of you ringing the cowbell?
You said no.
She tweeted it first. So,
There you go.
fair game.
What's up?
Hi.
Hey.
Chad Mass says we're 4 minutes late. That's my fault. I was late getting in the chair, Chad. Sorry about that. What's up, Jeff Hart? Hello, what's up, fam? We're going to do something different today. We're going to, not going to do a 2-minute drill. Going to do Trivia Thursday. Trivia Thursday here on the show. I'll give you 5 questions. See how we like that. Let's see how we like that. I kind of like the idea of it. So
I bet you I'll get them all right.
This way, yeah, I bet you will. This way you'll learn about Mississippi State history. Hello from Artesia, Robbie Stevens. Hail State from Dacona, Colorado. There's a new one. Randall Collins, the Dirty Delta, Shaw, Mississippi. Bet Jeff you will. Crystal Gordon. This way, I really don't need to hear the Masters out here. I'm okay.
I think that was your own voice. I think that was the Masters.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying?
It was me opening to do the dumb comments.
Oh, I see.
It was playing.
Hey, Brandon from Tupelo. Hello, Tim Cockrell. Hail State from Mize, Mississippi. Charles Dunaway in Mize, Mississippi. Once you've rung the cowbell, you're changed forever, says Steve C. Do you feel changed forever? Not really? You should be. Changed for the worse? No, not quite. Not quite. Got that douchebag off of you. You got that Ole Miss, that jerk off of you. Now you're yeah, careful. Careful. Woo. Almost ran into a wall there. Who is your Masters pick? Patrick Reed. Or Bubba Watson. Probably Bubba Watson. I think Bubba Watson will win it. Who's your Masters pick, Terp?
I have 6.
Who's your first one?
My top is probably Justin Rose.
You're in the pool here?
No, I'm in another pool.
Okay. Your top is Justin Rose?
Justin Rose and Spieth are my 2 top 20 golfers.
Why would you say Justin Rose first if you have Jordan Spieth?
Because I think Rose is going to do better than Spieth.
Spieth has won it before.
And?
Hail State from Bentonville, Arkansas. This show just went PG-13. I did not mean for that to happen, Ethan Fleury. Did not mean for that to happen. Often mean for that to happen. Didn't mean for it to happen this time. Doing payroll here in Little Rock. Can I cut you a check? D. Curtis, I would be mad if you didn't. I would be mad if you didn't. Hail State from Prentice, Mississippi. Lynn Holloway. Hail State from Snohomish, Washington via Madison, Mississippi. Bill Anderson. So, yeah, we'll do trivia. Somebody says Dustin Johnson is their pick. We'll do Trivia Thursday. Trivia Throwback Thursday, a 3T Thursday here on More Cowbell. So no 2-minute drill. I got 5 trivia questions I'm going to pose to you, and there's no prize or anything. If it goes well, maybe there'll be a prize later. Maybe we'll like it. But we're going to talk about recruiting. The Masters is the most overrated sporting event ever. Who said that? I don't agree with that. I love the Masters. Who said that? Drew Newell said it. I love the Masters. The Little League World Series, that's the most overrated sporting event ever. Or the Tour de France, or something else. Hail State from Dublin, Mississippi. Amanda Williams-Yara. I had no idea there was a Dublin, Mississippi. Where is Dublin, Mississippi? Y'all got me on that one. Where is that? Dublin, Mississippi. Anybody? Nothing?
Nope.
Dublin,
Ireland.
Wasn't really asking you. Was asking the people, my people. We'll have Steve Robertson on the show today to talk recruiting. Recruiting going well right now for Mississippi State. Got a 4-star quarterback, got a 4-star wide receiver, got a couple more on the hook, I believe, for the very near future. Steve Robertson from 24/7 Sports will break down everything here about recruiting here on the show today. Talk about Peters. There will be Peters talk on the show as Lamar Peters has decided to enter the NBA draft and not hire an agent. He's simply going to test the waters. He'd be stupid if he didn't do that, in my opinion. We'll talk about spring football. Who's going to be the star of spring football? Who's going to be the guy that pops off the page at the spring game? We'll talk about that. Hail State from Kiln, Mississippi. Zachary Cooey. Ringgold, Georgia checking in. So, yeah, we'll talk to Steve Robertson about recruiting. We'll talk spring football game. We'll talk basketball. Then we'll have our Throwback Trivia Thursday. Trivia Throwback Thursday. Thursday Throwback Trivia. Which one works best? Thursday Trivia Throwback. Pretty much, put those 3 words in and just figure out which sounds the best. The smallest Dublin in the world, right here in the Delta. Amanda Williams, Yara. Okay, very good. Yara. One of them's right, I'm sure. Terp, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Patrick today? Is he sick?
Spring break. His kids.
He's 60 years old. He's got
kids
spring.
are on spring break.
Well, my kids are on spring break too. I got 4 kids on spring break.
Why taking him somewhere? I don't know.
Why does he get to take his kids somewhere and I'm sitting out here talking to my people?
You could have talked from wherever. You just throw up on your phone.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. You ready? Okay.
It's the More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, Brandon Walker. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. We have got a good show for you today. I'm very excited about it. I don't always say that, but we've got a good show. I've got to ring the bell. Terp is telling me. Thank you very much, Terp. We are ringing here on a Thursday at the SEC Country Studios in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. It really is beautiful. Masters happening just a couple of hours from here. Me and Terp are getting in the car and going over to the Masters for the weekend in just a second. I lied. Yeah, go ahead and call him. So we'll have Steve Robertson on the show today to talk Mississippi State football recruiting. We'll talk about the 4-star quarterback Mississippi State got. We'll talk about the 4-star wide receiver Mississippi State just got. We'll talk about the 4 stars, the 3 stars, the next guys that are on the hook that could be coming very soon to Mississippi State. It just feels like a new day in state recruiting to me. We'll ask Steve if it feels like that to him. We'll talk about spring football, who to watch in the spring game. We'll talk about Lamar Peters opting to go the NBA draft but not hire an agent. He's just testing the waters. And at the end of the show, no 2-minute drill. I'm trying something different today. Throwback Trivia Thursday here on the show. 5 trivia questions for you Mississippi State fans. If you're listening to the podcast, you're not watching on Facebook Live, you just answer in your car, you answer wherever. But I'll have 5 trivia questions at the end of this show. Maybe there'll be a prize later. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. First, let me tell you, Maroon & Company at Maroon & Co. On Twitter or maroonandco.com. Get your great Mississippi State gear, including this beautiful Junction Bell sold exclusively at Maroon & Co. And all the Mississippi State gear I wear comes from there, including my shoes, everything. I see your thumbs up over there, Turp. That's at Maroon & Co. on Twitter and maroonandco.com. Check them out. You'll get lost on that website. I promise you, if you just listen to me and don't check out the website, you're doing yourself a disservice because you'll get lost on that website. Now, I get lost in the world of Mississippi State recruiting as a 4-star quarterback and 4-star wide receiver have committed to state in back-to-back days. Who knows what the future holds? Well, I know who knows what the future holds. His name is Steve Robertson, and he is joining the show, 247sports.com recruiting expert Steve Robertson. Steve, thank you for joining my show.
Always happy to be with you, Brandon, always.
I don't really always believe that. I feel like sometimes you just join just because out of obligation, because we're buddies and everything, but I'm not sure you're happy to be here today. Is it true?
Well, it's a beautiful day today. I mean, it's unseasonably cool, but I don't think there's a cloud in the sky, so there's a lot to feel good about, not to mention any time that you start stacking quarterbacks, you can feel pretty good about life.
So you started it right there. Let's go ahead and start with that. Mississippi State gets a 4-star quarterback, Garrett Schrader out of Charlotte, North Carolina. This is a name that came onto the board when Joe Moorhead was hired. It's a name that he targeted first. I guess there's a couple things to this, but to me what stands out is Joe Moorhead targeted this guy from day one. He went out and got his number 1 target. I'm not sure how often that has happened at Mississippi State, but it's happened here. Tell me about Garrett Schrader.
Well, it certainly hadn't happened a whole lot with quarterbacks over the years, and I think that's one of the things that you mentioned that's rather significant is that pretty much from the moment that Joe Moorhead walked off the podium when ringing the cowbell and accepting the job he offered Garrett Schrader a scholarship opportunity to come to Mississippi State. Now, he was already leaning to Joe Moorhead in Mississippi and Penn State, so there's a pre-existing relationship there. But I think it just shows that this staff is committed to recruiting, and here they are. They target a guy, make him a priority, and then it looked like there was some ebb and flow in the process, and South Carolina had kind of captured the momentum. You get him on campus, you sit him down, you close him out as a coach, and I think that speaks well for the future of Mississippi State recruiting.
So I have talked about this. It just feels like a new day. It feels, the last staff, I think they recruited better than people give them credit for. However, this staff feels different. It feels like they're more aggressive, like they've got bigger plans and a bigger future in store for Mississippi State recruiting. Do you feel like that too?
I do, and to be fair to Dan Mullen and his staff, that stacked roster that you have this year.
Right. It didn't recruit itself.
Dan Mullen. Exactly. Not to mention, if you look at that defense, probably arguably one of the best defenses we've had this century. And that's from Dan Mullen's efforts. And to be fair to them, they recruited really well in-state. Didn't really supplement out-of-state as well as they possibly should. And I think that's where we're seeing a difference in the Moorhead-Mullen era right out of the gate, is that these guys are much more aggressive with out-of-state players. We had 4 guys from Michigan on campus for Tuesday's spring practice session, and when's the last time that happened? And so I think that's really where Jim Moorhead and his staff, because of the efforts they're making early on to make these kids feel like a priority, make them feel like they're important to the staff, they're more likely to come to camp and come to the campus for events, where it seemed like in the past if we would offer a kid, and then if he didn't start recruiting us, we kind of lost interest in him. And it seems like these guys are more determined to get those guys on campus and kind of supplement where perhaps the in-state class is a little bit weak.
Listen, the in-state class for 19 is loaded. We've talked about that for a long time. It's got a lot of talent, a lot of players there that Mississippi State's going to want and presumably going to get. But when you talk about out-of-state, it seems like we're getting visits from a lot more out-of-state guys than we ever have before. Is that in my imagination?
No, I think that's accurate, and we see it all the time. When we're allowed to go to practice, we get 5 or 6 periods. There's prospects every single day, and it's not just some border state kids. You've got kids. I mean, Garrett Schrader's a North Carolina kid, and he was here just last week. And I think that's one of the things where things have kind of changed from a mentality standpoint, is that we're going to go out and push the Mississippi State brand. We're going to tell them, hey, this is the place to be, and not just send out an offer and hope for the best.
I look at Garrett Schrader on film, and I think this is Nick Fitzgerald running around on a high school field that can throw a little better. It's Nick Fitzgerald a little further along throwing the ball than maybe he was coming out of high school. Do you get that sense too?
There's no question. And Nick is a guy that played in a run-first offense, basically the wing tee. I think he threw, 75 passes as a high school senior. I mean, so it's just not a situation where you've got a running-style quarterback coming in. Schrader is a true dual-threat guy that is much more refined as a passer. And one of the things that Andrew Briner said from the beginning, and I mentioned this on my show, is that they were going to go out and start with arm talent first. They're going to find a guy that can make the deep throws, that can really stretch a defense, and then once they've kind of put that list together, they're going to go target the guys who are the best athletes. I mean, Garrett Schrader runs the 100 meters. It isn't a guy that just kind of is a runner just to kind of keep the defense honest. He is a plus runner, and he's a plus thrower. He is the guy that fits exactly what Jim Moorhead and Andrew Briner want in a quarterback.
Quentin Torbor, let's not let him get lost in the shuffle. 4-star wide receiver out of Destrehan, Louisiana, commits to Mississippi State the day after Garrett Schrader commits to Mississippi State. Tell me about Quentin Torbor.
Yeah, he's a guy that came for junior day, had a great experience, and was really kind of a head-turning experience for him. He knew about Mississippi State, had heard a lot of good things about it at camp here, really kind of fell in love with the campus and with the staff. He's been back 2 times since then, expected to be back for the spring game. Big outside receiver, understands the physical part of the game, and that's one of the things that's kind of difficult for high school receivers, that they have to learn to block and kind of do their responsibilities out on the perimeter, not just go catch a football. He's a little more advanced in that part of his game than many others are. But he's the guy that we've kind of been projecting to be a Bulldog now for a couple of weeks. And when he keeps making these visits to the campus, you got to realize that he's not just coming for the ice cream. This is a kid, obviously, he's making a long trip from Destrehan, Louisiana, to come to Mississippi State, and he's made that trip, 3 times in a matter of 2 months. And so we felt good about him, and I think getting Garrett in the boat, getting the quarterback in kind of gives the – now all of a sudden you can pull that kid up on the phone and say, hey, look, here's the guy who's going to be throwing you touchdown passes. And then how could you not be impressed when you watch his high school tape?
The ice cream on campus is delicious, though, Steve. I don't want anybody to come away from this conversation thinking you were insulting the ice cream at Mississippi State when you said that's not the only reason he's coming. It might be the only reason he's coming. You don't know.
Well, it might be the most important reason he's coming, but it's not the only reason he's coming, certainly. And you're exactly right. Mississippi State is probably the preeminent ice cream school in America.
Ice cream capital of college football, yes. Mississippi State has some other guys that are very close to committing. Now, without spoiling anything, I'm not telling you to ruin somebody's day or anything like that, and maybe you don't even know if the guy's about to commit or not. Give me a couple of names State fans should familiarize themselves with right now as guys who could be leaning towards pulling the trigger very soon.
Well, State offered Greg Brooks earlier this week, cornerback out of West Jeff High School there in Orleans Parish. He's a kid that really wanted the Mississippi State offer, came to campus hoping to get it, got the offer. Feel pretty good about where things stand with him. King Ani out of Nashville, Davidson High School, he's been to campus multiple times. Not exactly sure when he'll pull the trigger, but I feel like State's in that a lot more than out of it. Really like Isaiah Pruitt from Knoxville County. He's another guy that has long-time Mississippi State lean. That's really a situation of getting his family on board with making the decision rather than prolonging the process. They just don't want him to rush into anything, and it's a matter of him being sure. And then Eric Gray from Memphis, Tennessee, running back out of Lausanne, collegiate school there. A lot of big talk about him. Spoke with him this morning, as a matter of fact, and he's had a couple of very productive visits to Mississippi State, and wants to take a little while longer to kind of narrow the field, but we get really good vibes about him, and I think Mississippi State's in a good position there. Spring
game coming up in less than 2 weeks, April 21st. Do you think we'll see a couple of commitments around that game?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how many you have on game day, but I think that ultimately you can have some shortly after that. Super Bulldog weekend, you're actually going to host official visitors. You got a couple of 2018 guys coming in with Quatravius Johnson and Jaden Crumby, and then there's going to be some out-of-state 2019 kids that would like to take that visit. That's a different format for us, but yeah, I think it could be a big recruiting weekend, and I think there's a lot of kids that are going to be on campus for the first time and really see the Mississippi State fan base up close for the first time, and I think that's going to benefit Joe Moorhead's efforts as well.
Well, that all sounds good. Sounds like recruiting is going in the right direction. Steve Robertson is all over it. Follow him on Twitter at ScoutSteveR. He had the book last year. I'm sure he's working on a follow-up. We'll talk about that next time. But obviously, Steve is the go-to guy for Mississippi State recruiting. Steve, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
All right, that was Steve Robertson, friend of mine, friend of yours, friend of everybody's. So the spring game is coming up. And not only recruiting, will it be a big recruiting weekend with everybody coming in and hosting some official visits and stuff like that, but hey, it's our first look at Joe Moorhead's first team at Mississippi State. It's our first look at Joe Moorhead on the sidelines at Mississippi State. It's our first look at this new offense. What are we looking for? What are we going into that game thinking, hey, this is what I want to see. This is who I want to see. This is how I want to see things done. Landshark, you can change the bottom of that screen anytime you'd like. So she's doing a great job, folks. She's doing a great job. So Mississippi State spring game, who is the player to watch? Who are the players to watch? Who am I looking for when I show up at the spring game? Quarterbacks. I don't know if Nick Fitzgerald's going to play. I know that he is not 100%. He might not even be 50%. But will they have him out there throwing the ball? Will they have him out there throwing deep to his receivers? Will he be extremely limited? All right, quit eating the pizza in front of me, guys. I understand somebody brought y'all pizza back there, Shrekking crew, but I'm trying to focus. And you dropping pepperonis into your mouth isn't something that I'm trying to do right now. Okay, now, who's going to be the star of the spring? I look at quarterbacks. Will Nick Fitzgerald he won't be 100%. Will he throw the ball at all in the spring game? I don't know. Will he play at all in the spring game? Will we see Nick Fitzgerald? That's a question. What about Keaton Thompson? I assume he'll be kind of the star quarterback at the spring game. I mean, he's not hurt. He's a full go. So I'd love to see what Keaton Thompson looks like in this new offense. How often are they going to throw it down the field? How often are they going to try to get it to these wide receivers down the field? How much are they going to show us of that? Excited to see it. This defensive line, this front seven, they are hell on wheels. I just hope they don't kill anybody. I hope they don't hurt anybody on the offensive line. That's what I'm looking for in the spring. Chauncey Rivers, Can't wait to see him in a Mississippi State uniform. Brian Cole, Mississippi State uniform. Marcus Murphy, can't wait to see him. So much to look forward to this spring. So much to look forward to this season. I'm getting fired up about the spring game. I have changed my trip to Starkville. I'm not going this week. I'm not going this weekend. I was going to go. I'm waiting 2 weeks, and I'm going to make sure I'm at the spring game. So we'll come up with some things, maybe some fun activities, some funtivities to do with each other, but I'm going to the spring game. Lamar Peters is going to the NBA draft, not hiring an agent, though. That is very key. That is very key. Couple things about Lamar Peters before we get to trivia, Throwback Thursday, Thursday Throwback Trivia. He declares for the draft, won't sign an agent. He won't sign an agent. That is gigantic. That means he's going to go work out, going to get some feedback. Hey, this is what you need to work on. Or, hey, you're a first-round pick, come on out. Probably not going to happen there. But he's going to learn the process. And I think at this point, in this day and time, if they make that available to you, you'd be stupid not to go. You'd be crazy not to go and see what the NBA thinks of you. See what you can work on. See what you need to come back and do to your game to make sure you're a first-round pick next year. Don't mistake anything, though. He is one of the two most important players for the 2018-19 season, in my opinion, for Mississippi State basketball. He has to come back for us to be what we want to be. He has to. If he doesn't, we kind of recalculate. We recalculate what we think about next year's team. I think he's one of the two most important players for 2018-19. The other one, Reggie Perry, the 5-star freshman. What Perry gives you adds to what you already have. So what he brings to the table is how much better you're going to get. And similarly with Peters, by the end of the season, he was a very, very good point guard. If he starts the season next year as a very, very good point guard, all bets are off. State's a hard team to beat. This is something to watch as Lamar Peters goes through the NBA draft process, doesn't hire an agent. I'm 99.9% sure he's coming back, but the .01 is worrisome. But, again, he'd be stupid not to try and test the waters and see what the NBA thinks. So don't panic. Don't panic. But always reserve the right to panic later. Trivia Thursday Throwback Trivia. I'm going to give you 5 questions. I haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet. Somebody will figure it out. Instead of a 2-minute drill today where it's just open-ended, these questions have answers. These questions definitely have answers. So, got a couple of football, got a couple of baseball, got a couple of basketball. I'm lying. I only have 1 football, 2 baseball, and 2 basketball. So, number 1. There's no prize here, so don't get excited. Maybe we'll do a prize later. Number 1, which 2 SEC teams has Mississippi State beaten the most in its history? Which 2 SEC teams has Mississippi State beaten the most in SEC history? This is Throwback Trivia Thursday on Thursday Throwback Trivia. It's a trivia throwback on Thursday. It's Thursday. We're having throwback trivia. I like that one the best. Which 2 SEC teams has Mississippi State beaten the most? As Facebook Live tries to figure it out, Kevin Wright says Kentucky and Ole Miss. John Holiday says Kentucky and Ole Miss. Kentucky and Auburn. Kentucky and Louisiana Tech. Not an SEC team. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. Kentucky and Ole Miss. Kentucky and Vandy. Nobody's gotten it right yet. Some people have gotten it half right. Ole Miss and Vandy. Kentucky and Ole Miss. Kentucky and Ole Miss. Tennessee and Kentucky.
No one has said the other half.
Nobody's gotten the other half. Nobody's getting this. Vandy and Kentucky. Ole Miss and Kentucky. Kentucky and Vandy. No. It is not Kentucky. It is not Kentucky. It is not Vandy. Kentucky and Arkansas. No. Ole Miss and South Carolina. No. South Carolina joined the SEC in 1992.
Someone has
Bill Anderson.
Bill Anderson.
With the correct answer. Ole Miss and LSU. Mississippi State has beaten Ole Miss 44 times. They've beaten LSU 35 times. Ole Miss and LSU. Those are the 2 teams Mississippi State has beaten the most in the SEC. Those are the teams they've played the most. And Auburn. They have not played Kentucky all that much in history. They've played them a lot in the last 30 years, but not that much in history. They played LSU and Ole Miss pretty much every year since the school started. Now everybody's saying Ole Miss and LSU. Thanks, Johnny Come Latelys. Number 2. Jarvis Bernardo holds the all-time record for blocked shots at Mississippi State. Who is second? Jarvis Bernardo holds the all-time record for blocked shots at Mississippi State. Who is second? This one's not that hard. So it's a little easy getting into basketball. Little easy. A lot of people are Googling right now. No Google. You either know it or you don't. Jason Nichols says Shaq. Shaq didn't play for Mississippi State.
Ding, ding.
Sean Barker, although he ended with a question mark. Should I give it to him?
Yes.
Sean Barker with the correct answer. The correct answer is Eric Dampier. Second all-time in blocked shots at Mississippi State. Mississippi State men's basketball. Maybe I should have clarified that. Tierra McCowan not eligible for this particular answer. Eric Dampier, the correct answer. Number 3. Who holds Mississippi State baseball's career record for stolen bases? Who holds Mississippi State's career record for stolen bases? No Google. Put your phone down. Who holds Mississippi State's career record for stolen bases? This one's tough. I did not know this. I didn't know this off the top of my head. Not a lot of people out there know it. Not a lot of answers coming in yet. Will Clark? No, not Will Clark. Gridley? No, not Ryan Gridley. Chad Bumpus? No, shockingly not Chad Bumpus. Will Clark? Maniscalco? I see the right answer already. Raffy? Renfro? No. The answer to the question is who holds the record for stolen bases at Mississippi State. His name was Mike Kelly. Played from 1976 to 1979. He had 79 stolen bases. Mike Kelly holds the record at Mississippi State for stolen bases in a career and triples in a career. Mike Kelly. I was born in 1979, April 13th, 1979. So I don't remember Mr. Kelly, but Mike Kelly has the all-time record for stolen bases at Mississippi State. Number 4. In 1995, Mississippi State men's basketball advanced to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. Which 2 teams did they beat to advance to the Sweet 16? In 1995, advancing to the Sweet 16, which 2 teams did we beat? That's easy if you live through it. You should know it. Should be easy. No, I know you know the answer. I've given you the answers. All right, Terp, I know that. Everybody thinking, no Google. Princeton and NC State. That is incorrect, Kevin Wright. Incorrect. Not correct. Santa Clara and Cincinnati. That is also not correct. Not correct. Tim Franks with the Santa Clara, Cincinnati, yes. Texas and Arkansas, no. John Holiday saves us. Ding, ding, ding. John Holiday. We beat Santa Clara with Steve Nash in the first round and then beat Utah in the second round. We beat Santa Clara and then Utah. A lot of you guys are saying Cincinnati and Princeton. In 1996, to go to the Sweet 16, we beat VCU and then we beat Princeton. And then we beat UConn and Cincinnati to go to the Final Four. That's in 96. But in 95, when we went to the Sweet 16, it was Santa Clara and Utah. Number 5, which pitcher holds the all-time career record for wins at Mississippi State? Which pitcher has the most wins at Mississippi State? I'll sit back and enjoy myself. Just going to sit over here with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Just chilling. Which pitcher has the most wins in Mississippi State history? John Cohen, not a pitcher. Not a pitcher. Not John Brantley. John Brantley was a quarterback at the University of Florida. The answer is Jeff Brantley. I didn't see who had it first. Jeff Brantley had 45 career wins at Mississippi State. 45 career wins for Jeff Brantley, the all-time winningest pitcher at Mississippi State. So there's your answers. Now, did you learn something today? Do you feel more educated about Mississippi State? Can you go out into the world after Thursday Throwback Trivia, Thursday Trivia Throwback? Can you go back into the world and feel better about your knowledge of Mississippi State? I can, because I looked all these up. I did not know the answers to all these questions. I knew two of them. I knew both basketball questions. Didn't know either baseball question, and had no idea LSU was the second most wins we've ever had against an SEC team. Had no idea. So, fun facts. Fun facts here on a Trivia Thursday Throwback Trivia Thursday Throwback Trivia Thursday. On the show, my name is Brandon Walker. If you've been listening to the podcast, I'm going to drop you off here. Please don't hurt anything. Again, my name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Oh, dear. What happened? We're going to have to go this camera now? The other camera, forget how to work? Hi. So let's talk, everybody, on the Facebook Live. Look at me. Do you like the trivia idea? Instead of the 2-minute drill, do you like the trivia idea? Terp gave it a thumbs up. Bobby Strickland does not like the trivia idea. That's very disappointing. I thought it was good. I liked the idea. 3 thumbs up for trivia, says Maroon and Company. Hey, if it works, I'm just saying Maroon and Co. might be sponsoring some things. I don't know. Might be some shirts or something. Kevin Wright says yes. Jason Brinson, yes. Drew Newell, yes. Charlie Cooper likes it. Charlie Cooper, my homeboy. Charlie Cooper, Dr. Charlie Cooper. Shout out to Brill. Forgot your last name, but I met you at the Hawks game last night, Brill. Brill listens to the show.
How was that?
From Biloxi.
How was the game?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the game, but we had a great time. The food was great. Company was good. Shout out to Dr. Charlie Cooper for making it happen.
Who won?
The Heat beat the heck out of the Hawks.
Nice.
Did you see I almost cuss there?
Yes.
Yes. Everybody likes trivia. Good Friday. Good trivia. Let's do it let's do trivia on Friday. Hint, hint. Well, not yet. Yes. Flint Williamson says, hold up on the baseball trivia. It depresses me, but baseball trivia is the best trivia because there's so many numbers. I wanted it more football related, but when I got into all the football leaders, like the all-time leaders, so many of them came from the Dan Mullen era, like the last 5 or 10 years. Harold Smith says it seems sort of trivial to me. Bobby Strickland says I do like it. It was a typo. Okay, very good. So everybody likes the trivia. Good. So we'll do a 2-minute drill Tuesday, a trivia throwback trivia Thursday trivia throwback, and then we'll do something on Monday and something on Wednesday. I don't know what we'll do Monday. Maybe we'll bring back the Jack stuff for Mondays, and then Wednesdays will just be, I don't know, WTF Wednesday. We'll come up with something. Your check is in the mail for the shout out. Don't be bluffing me. Don't be bluffing me. I'll be looking in the mail. I saw MJ hit a game winner in 95. That was 3 games into his comeback. And he patted the floor. I remember that very well. Drew Newell saw that. I remember that very well. Those awesome, ugly mid-90s Hawks uniforms. MJ wearing 45. Friday show, question mark, Matt McBrayer? I don't know. It'll have to be. We might start it during the summer as we build towards the football season. Dwayne, just drop off if you hate this show, says Ray Leno. What did Dwayne say? Who is Dwayne? Terp, what did Dwayne say?
Dwayne said, and I quote, "I hate this show."
That's what Dwayne said?
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne said that.
Butin.
Dwayne said that.
Yes.
You got 9 months and you come up with Dwayne. All right, Dwayne, if you don't like this show, it's okay. Please like me. Please like me. Dan McDonald to Starkville will be epic, says Flint Williamson. It would be something. It would be It would complete the greatest sweep from one university to another that I can ever remember. Beating them in football, both basketballs, and then taking their baseball coach would be unbelievable. Yes, Friday show, says Bill Anderson. Amazing game, said Drew Newell. Yeah, it was an amazing game. You're talking about the Michael Jordan game that you saw. Last night probably wasn't an amazing game. I know the Heat won. I know Kelly Olynyk had a bunch of points, and I ate a lot of free food. I ate quesadillas for days. They had charcuterie. Is that how you say it? Oh, what? You act like you don't know what I'm talking about. That's not how you say it? That's how you say it. Yeah, the free little meats. Yeah.
She's saying, what was the word?
If you have a charcuterie.
Charcuterie is what Landshark said.
You didn't change the word at all. What do we talk about during the summer? Thermodynamics. I have no idea. We'll think of something. What do we talk about during the spring?
Terps.
Dwayne, you just made the list. Everybody hating on Dwayne. Y'all don't hate on Dwayne. Dwayne's my guy. Dwayne's fine. We will convert Dwayne. How are those workouts going, by the way? Kevin Wright asked that question. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, nothing. I got nothing. Just playing Brandon. I love this show. See, I knew Dwayne was a good guy. I knew Dwayne was a good guy. Charcuterie. That's what I said. What did I say? Charcuterie? The char? You know, the little meats. The little meats. Everybody likes little meat, right? Little meats. It was delicious. And they had steak steak quesadillas. They had chicken quesadillas. I mean, they had all kind of quesadillas. It was delicious. My list: Friday show, Jeff Brantley on the show, John Bond on the show, John Cohen on the show, and banana pudding. That's your list of favorite things, Bill Anderson? That's pretty impressive. Friday show would be your favorite. Jeff Brantley on the show, John Bond, John Cohen. Doesn't John Bond have his own show? Doesn't he have his own podcast? I mean, I'm not trying to. I mean, I have Steve Robertson. He has his own podcast. But if John's got his own thing going on, I don't want to interrupt that. Good idea. Eat banana pudding on the show. I think banana pudding should be eaten every day by everybody. But Southern banana pudding, not like that store-bought banana pudding. Like your grandmother's banana pudding. You know the kind I'm talking about.
You see, Dwayne said he really loves the show.
I've already talked about that.
All right.
I said it out loud.
Okay. Just reminding you.
Can I come on the show one day, Jeremiah Body? Well, technically, Jeremiah, you're on the show now. Think about it. Uh-huh.
I said facts.
That's facts.
Facts.
I just named you. You're here. You're on the show. I said your name out loud. You were just on the show. Movie quotes for trivia. I like Mississippi State trivia. Maybe if we do Mississippi State trivia for a while, maybe we branch out. Maybe we have different trivia different days. I don't know. This show belongs to you people. Doesn't belong to me. Kind of belongs to me. But this show belongs to you people. Whatever you want, I'll do it. So we didn't do a 2-minute drill today. We did trivia. And I liked it. Ron Polk on the show? That would be something. Clint Williamson says, wait, where's John Bond podcast? No, I was just lying. He doesn't have a podcast. Listen to me. Listen to me every day. I'm your guy. Get all of your stuff. Get all your facts from me. Don't look over there at Brian Haydad, Bob Karskad, and all those guys. You focus on me. Andy Cannizaro on the show. Well, we're based in Atlanta, not Gainesville, so I'm sure it'll be tough to get him. But maybe I wouldn't rule anybody out. I did exchange emails this morning trying to get Joe Moorhead on the show, trying to get Joe Moorhead to make an appearance. He's the head coach of Mississippi State University, Terp.
Oh, is that who that is?
That is.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, we got that in the works. We have got that in the works. Can you get Steve Robertson to Skype when he's a guest on the show? I don't know if you've ever met Steve, but Steve on Skype would be terrifying. I don't want to live in a world where Steve knows how to Skype. I don't want to live in that world. Walker Brandon could do Ole Miss trivia. I should have Walker. Have you ever met Walker Brandon?
No, you still have never brought him out.
You never met Walker Brandon III.
No,
he is a jerk.
I want to meet him.
Complete douchebag.
Oh, there.
Did I not say that?
It's a little racy.
Oh, racy, not racist. I was
Yes,
like,
I did not say racist.
douchebag's not a
I
race.
said racy.
Okay, all right. Do you think Peters will get a good grade or come back for another year? I think he'll come back for another year. I think he'll be back. I don't think he'll get the first round grade that would necessitate him leaving. You get a first round grade, you leave, but I don't think he'll get it. Do we get a royalty check if you use our names? I don't even get a check, Bobby Strickland. I just do this out of the goodness of my heart. Walker Brandon III needs to be the Friday show. What if we just debuted a Walker Brandon III show? I hate April 1st just passed. We could have had the Ole Miss podcast with Walker Brandon III. Why did I just think of that idea? Would you be on the Ole Miss podcast with Walker Brandon III?
Sure.
Have you ever seen the Walker Brandon III pictures?
No, where can I find them?
I'll find them for you. Are you crying or do you have allergies? I'm crying. I also have allergies. Oh, we're at 12:30. I'm going to Cox to eat today. I'm going over to the Cox cafeteria. You guys going? Did you go yesterday? What'd you have?
We just ate, so.
What'd you have yesterday? Oh, you just had pizza. Look at you. What'd you eat yesterday?
Went to sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice to work somewhere that gives you sushi?
I didn't go to Cox yesterday.
I thought y'all went to Cox. I thought y'all left.
It was like rainy. We didn't want to walk in the mud.
It's 25 feet away. It wasn't rainy yesterday. I walked over there.
The trail is definitely muddy.
All right. Well, they're hungry. I'm hungry. We're going to end the show. We'll be back on Monday to talk. Hopefully, between now and then, we'll have more recruits, more to talk about. Until next time, my name is Brandon Walker. You've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.